What if we could use logic, yes, the same kind behind computer programs, to tackle life's biggest questions? Existentialism says we're thrown into a universe without inherent meaning, and it's up to us to create it. But can logic, with its true-false statements, really help us understand something so personal? Let's find out by shining the flashlight of logic on existentialism's deepest claims. Propositional logic is a system of formal language and a powerful tool. It provides us with a framework for reasoning about the truth or falsehood of statements. It's a system for analyzing statements, propositions, that can be definitively classified as either true or false, but not both. These propositions form the building blocks of more complex arguments. We use propositional logic to determine the validity of these arguments, ensuring that our reasoning is sound and reliable. For example, the sky is blue is a proposition. It's a declarative statement that, under normal circumstances, we can confidently say is true. Is the sky blue? Isn't. Questions, commands, or exclamations don't qualify as propositions because they don't assert a truth value. They can't be true or false. We use letters like P or Q to represent these statements, acting as placeholders for any proposition we might want to analyze. These letters allow us to abstract away from the specific content of the statements and focus on their logical relationships, and connect them with and, which means both statements must be true for the combined statement to be true. Or, meaning at least one of the statements must be true. Not, which negates the statement, flipping its truth value. And if, then, which asserts that if the first statement is true, then the second statement must also be true. P and Q is only true if both are true. If either P or Q is false, then the entire statement P and Q is false. This is a fundamental concept in propositional logic. If P, then Q is only false if P is true and Q is false. In all other cases, the statement is considered true. This might seem counterintuitive at first, but it's a crucial aspect of how we define implication in logic. This lets us break down complex arguments, dissecting them into their constituent propositions and logical connections, and see if their structure holds up, revealing whether the conclusion logically follows from the premises. It's like popping the hood on a philosophical claim, or any claim for that matter, to check for hidden contradictions, inconsistencies, or logical fallacies that might undermine its validity. Before we base our lives on big ideas, before we accept them as truth, logic helps us see if they're built on solid ground, ensuring that our beliefs are rational and well-supported. It's about critical thinking and making informed decisions. So how does logic connect to existentialism? Existentialists like Sartre and Camus make bold claims about human existence, claims we can analyze logically. Take Camus' The Absurd. Humans desire meaning, P, but the universe provides none, Q. The absurd is P and Q. Translating philosophy into logic forces us to clarify what we mean by meaning or existence. We can see the premises, test the argument, and spot contradictions. This doesn't strip away the soul of existentialism. It honors it by taking the ideas seriously. Logic helps us move from gut reactions to rigorous understanding. It's a friendship between clarity and depth. Let's put Sartre's famous claim, "We are condemned to be free," under the logical microscope. Define P, no predetermined human nature. Q, we are free to choose. R, we are responsible for our essence. Sartre's argument. If P, then Q and R. If there's no set nature, we're free and responsible. If you accept P, logic demands you accept Q and R. You can't have one without the others. If you reject P, the rest doesn't follow. Logic clarifies the package deal of existential freedom. You can't claim freedom without responsibility, or vice versa. Logic exposes contradictions and forces us to own our beliefs. Let's apply this to a real-world dilemma, something many of us face: choosing a career. It's a decision filled with possibilities, uncertainties, and a whole lot of pressure. How can logic help us navigate this complex landscape? P, there's no single right career path etched in stone for you. The world is full of options, each with its own set of rewards and challenges. It's a vast and diverse landscape of opportunities. Q, I'm free to choose. I have the agency to make my own decisions, to steer my own ship. The power to shape my future lies within my grasp. R, I'm responsible for the meaning I find in my chosen path. It's not just about the job itself, but the purpose and fulfillment I derive from it. I am accountable for the choices I make and the impact they have on my life. Accept P? Do you truly believe that there isn't one preordained path for you? Then you must also accept Q and R. You choose, and you own the outcome, both the successes and the setbacks. The responsibility rests squarely on your shoulders. Saying, "I have no choice," is bad faith. It's a denial of your own agency. You're still choosing, even if it's to please others, to conform to expectations, or to avoid conflict. That decision to please is still a choice. Logic strips away excuses, those comforting narratives we tell ourselves to avoid facing the truth, and clarifies what's really at stake: your freedom, your responsibility, and the meaning you create in your life. Are you ready to take responsibility for your choice, for the direction your life will take? If not, maybe you don't truly believe in P, that there are multiple paths available to you. Perhaps you secretly believe there's a right answer out there waiting to be discovered. Logic helps you diagnose the real source of your anxiety. Is it the fear of making the wrong choice, or the weight of the freedom to choose at all? Freedom, responsibility, or both? They are two sides of the same coin. It's a tool for clarity, not comfort. Logic won't necessarily make the decision easier, but it will help you understand the true nature of the choice you're facing. Logic's greatest strength is clarity. It forces us to define terms and check for consistency. It sharpens debates and helps us pinpoint exactly where we disagree. But logic has limits. It can't capture the richness of feelings or the gray areas of life. "I love my family" isn't just true or false, it's an experience. Logic depends on the truth of its premises, but for life's biggest questions, those are often up for debate. Logic maps out what follows from your beliefs, but it can't choose your beliefs for you. Sometimes the leap requires more than logic: intuition, faith, or commitment. Now, let's take a moment to apply this process to your own belief system. It's a fascinating exercise in self-discovery, and it can reveal hidden assumptions that shape your perspective. Are you ready to embark on this intellectual journey? Pick something you hold deeply, a conviction, a principle, or a value that resonates with you on a fundamental level. It could be something personal, something societal, or even something spiritual. Let's say, for example, you believe that everything happens for a reason. It's a common sentiment, often offered as comfort during difficult times. Stated as a proposition, we'll call it C. This transforms your belief into a clear, concise statement that we can analyze. Now comes the crucial part. What premises must be true for C to be true? What underlying assumptions are necessary for "everything happens for a reason" to hold water? This is where we start to unpack the layers of your belief. Maybe P1, there's a guiding force at play in the universe, some form of higher power or cosmic intelligence that orchestrates events. P2, every event, no matter how seemingly random or insignificant, is part of a larger, predetermined plan. Nothing is truly accidental. So P1 and P2 implies C. In other words, if there's a guiding force and every event is part of a plan, then everything happens for a reason. This is the logical structure of your belief. But here's the question. Do you really believe those premises? Do you genuinely subscribe to the idea of a guiding force and a predetermined plan? And perhaps even more importantly, are they consistent with your other beliefs? Do these premises align with your views on free will, personal responsibility, or the nature of reality? This isn't about disproving yourself or tearing down your convictions. It's about clarity. It's about understanding the foundations upon which your beliefs are built. Logic helps you see the full commitment behind your beliefs, the implications they carry, and the assumptions they rely on. It allows you to examine your worldview with greater precision and awareness. Philosophy isn't just for dusty books and academic debates. It's a practical tool for navigating life. Logic is your blueprint for building a coherent and meaningful understanding of the world. What did you discover about your own beliefs through this thought experiment? We'd love to hear your insights and reflections. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we encourage you to continue exploring the power of logic in your own life.